Good afternoon, Zinger Nation. What is up today? Welcome to Moon or Bust. This is your home for all things altcoins and DeFi. Today, we are going to be talking about the Coinbase Lend product, the SEC issues. We're going to be interviewing someone from the Netcoins exchange and then talking to the Cirus Foundation and former Apple CEO, Gil Amelio. It is a huge one. You do not want to miss it. So subscribe if you're new here. Smash the like button. I'm going to bring on my two awesome co-hosts. We have the DeFi developer, Brian Moir, and Mutant Ape, Ryan McNamara. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, Logan. Thanks for having me as always.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
The pleasure
really appreciate it, man.
Is all mine. Before we are cleared for takeoff on this Moon or Bust rocket ship, a few quick safety procedures I got to run y'all through. Okay. So for all who are willing and able, please flip your like button into the on position. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out the Benzinga Crypto separate YouTube channel in the description below. Check out the Telegram. We got sick merch. You can get 25% off by joining the Telegram. And also we have a Moon or Bust game where you can vote Moon or Bust on your favorite tokens. So check that out. It's also linked in the description below. It's pretty sick. Don't want to miss it. As always, make sure to connect with us on Twitter. But without further ado, let's just dive right in. Let's get to the news today. We're starting a little bit late, so we're going to have to get right into it. Ryan, you want to take us away?
Yeah, sure thing, Logan. So the SEC, like we talked about on the last show, is coming after Coinbase for Coinbase Lend product. They're saying it's a security because they do manage those interest rates. So right now they're offering 4% USDC through their Coinbase Lend, but that is getting delayed due to the SEC. They said they'd threaten to sue. We covered this last time, so I don't want to spend too much more time on it. But do you guys have any thoughts where this could go? Do you think Coinbase Lend will still come out? And is there any ramifications for these other exchanges like Crypto.com, Voyager, and all these other places where you can already earn this interest on your crypto?
So yeah.
Oh, go for it, Brian.
Okay. So one thing I will say, how Mr. Rogan here says coin stock is so frustrating. Well, yeah, it's frustrating because all the mining stocks are pumping. Well, one of the reasons Coinbase is not going up is because of all this. And I don't think that it's going to really prevent them to launch the Lend, whatever that whole department or project, whatever you want to say that Coinbase is doing. I think that it's on halt because they want to make sure that everything's done correctly. And with our next topic, it'll shed a little bit more light on what the SEC is doing to these crypto projects and these crypto companies and these whole institutions, because it's such a gray area that no one knows what they're doing. But one thing's for sure, the government's going to get their money, and they're going to make sure that no one is going to take advantage of the system. So that's why I think it's all halted and kind of, in this limbo right now.
Yeah, so here's my hot take on the situation, right? The SEC totally dropped the ball on the Ripple case, and now they're trying to cover their ass. This is what BitBoy told us all about last week. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But they're targeting Uniswap now. Now they're targeting Coinbase. They're bringing up these high-profile names to try to distract from their failure, right? So there's already all these lending products that already exist. They're offering higher interest rates, and the SEC does nothing. They stay completely quiet. But when Coinbase, the big blue chip like USA crypto exchange, pokes their head out, the SEC is going to go, oh, look, we can get attention from that. We can distract from our failure, blah, blah. So I think that they are just trying to cover up their failures. I don't know what they could really do at this point. Like it's a lend product. You stake your coins and you earn interest on that. What's the security there? I don't see it. But that's my take on it. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Drop your comments down below. Let us know what you guys think and how you're gonna play this situation. How you're gonna trade around it.
Well, one thing to go on that really quick is the SEC did drop the ball with XRP, but they also have dropped the ball with Ethereum. Back in the day when Ethereum first started, it was the same discussion they had, and this guy named William Hinman, who is the director of the division of corporation finance. And I'm not going to lie to anyone and say that I know what the heck that guy is or who he is or what that does or what that means. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, I'm not qualified to really tell you anything of those departments or how that all works. But what I can say is,
tell him that, Brian.
Yeah, well, I just did.
Okay, get on with it.
One thing that he did is he also did a similar thing with XRP with Ethereum. He said that it wasn't security, and he actually tried to get into Ethereum and invest into Ethereum before it all went out. And then he was on record saying that, hey, this is not a security. And then follow that up with whenever they said XRP was a security, was whenever the indictment or this lawsuit happened. So before that lawsuit happened, there's no record of the SEC ever saying that XRP is a security. So here's where you're going to see the whole suit kind of fall apart, because they were told that, they weren't told anything. They weren't told that they were a security or they weren't a security. They wouldn't get any answers back. So it's like
they weren't read their Miranda rights. Now they're
exactly, and so XRP will be tradable in the U.S. very, very soon.
Yeah, did you guys see the Coinbase put up the trading pairs on Coinbase Pro for XRP yesterday as just a middle finger to the SEC? Like,
that's funny. I did not see that.
Security, or we're gonna start trading XRP again.
Well,
it took them down like a half an hour later after Twitter blew up.
They pretty much said that it's going to be dropped. Well, not dropped isn't the best term for it, but it's going to kind of,
they'll settle. They'll settle. They'll find them. They won't be able to stop it, right? And they'll say they got the dub when in reality they took a fat L.
Well, they won't even fine them. There's nothing to fine. They were wrong because it's a gray area and they're trying to get their money. But that's pretty much all I wanted to get into on that. But
yeah, and like BitBoy said too, even if they come to a settlement, once this is out of court, they're going to start trading in the US again. And that's going to open up the walls for so many new investors to come back into XRP. I could easily see 100, 200% gains once that settlement is made and once US investors can start buying XRP again. So if you guys have access, I don't know how you would if you're in the US, but if you can find a way to get some XRP before this settlement ends, it might be a play. If you think that they're going to come out on top with this lawsuit, then it's probably a good play.
Coin.
And I do have another shout out, guys. We have the Benzinga Bootcamp, the trading bootcamp tomorrow, completely free to attend. I'm about to send a link to sign up in the chat. Please go ahead, sign up. You can win $1,000 worth of Dogecoin. It's a free event. You're entered into that giveaway for signing up. So if you want to win $1,000 in Dogecoin, there's the link.
Thank you, Ryan. These boot camps are awesome. If you're a new trader, intermediate, even experienced, like these are for everyone. You're gonna learn something no matter what. So make sure you pull up tomorrow. Just chilling on Saturday, throw it on in the background, make some money. You know how it is. Okay, so do we have any other news topics for today? Do you want to talk about any prices, any coins popping off? What are you guys thinking?
I don't know. Is Mitchell in the green room yet? Can we throw him on?
I do not see Mitchell in the green room yet.
Okay, I guess we can go over a market update then. Not too much is happening right now, but I think we might be seeing a retest of the bull market support band pretty soon, and that's where I'll be loading up some more bags.
Nice. Now I just pulled up CoinMarketCap and their biggest gainers tab. I see Pfizer tokenized stock trading on Bittrex. It is up 57,000% today. So,
it probably started trading at like 0 or like 1 cent, and then it went up to whatever the stock price is.
Yeah.
I still outperformed it, so I'm chilling.
Maybe they're creating a vaccine, and that's why it's going up.
Yeah, you buy it at 7 cents.
I need a vaccine for the SEC. Let me get one of those.
Well, Pfizer's doing. We're not a stock market show, but Pfizer is doing pretty well. BBG, BBIG. Come on, we can go on.
It's those booster vaccines, they're pumping their bags with those booster shots.
Pfizer got FDA approval.
Yep.
Were they not FDA approved? Am I F?
Just got FDA approval. That's what I just said.
So what about everyone who got the Pfizer vaccine before they were FDA approved? Are they going to die?
I'm not dead yet.
No, bro. FDA approval is like the last and final step. Like this is the first vaccine to get FDA approved. All the other ones will be coming down the line. But that's not what we're here for today. We are here to talk about crypto, and we got Mitchell in the backstage now. So let's bring it back. Let's focus on our topics. Let's bring Mitchell on from the Netcoins exchange in Canada. Mitchell, welcome to Moon or Bust. How are you doing today? Hey, Mitchell, can you hear us? All right. So there's a little cam mic setting button at the bottom there. You're going to want to go check out your audio settings. And then now you're muted. I think if you unmute, it'll probably be good. Hey yo, can you hear us?
I can't hear you guys.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if you can't hear us.
Perfect. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Awesome. Yeah, sorry about that.
You're
Great.
fine.
No worries. Welcome to Moon or Bust. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. So you work at Netcoins. If anyone out there is unfamiliar, it is a Canadian exchange. So could you tell us a little bit about your background in crypto and then your work at Netcoins?
Absolutely. So myself, I've been involved in crypto since early 2013. I was introduced to a friend. I was kind of into gold and silver, precious metals, Austrian economics back then. And at the time, it was obviously really difficult to buy and sell crypto. And I've kind of been on a mission to make that easier since then. Back in kind of spring of 2013, when we were first trying to figure out how to buy and sell it, we'd go meet people in coffee shops and bars and kind of buy and sell crypto like that. And from there, I set up an in-person brokerage in Vancouver where people could come in and chat about Bitcoin, learn about it, and buy and sell, and kind of have that brand and reputation and spot where we're there every day. So, when you're waiting for block confirmations or you're having trouble with the wallets and, just trying to figure out everything in the early days, there was somebody that you could come and talk to. And after that, I launched actually the world's very first Bitcoin ATM here in Vancouver, which was the fall of 2013. From there, I went and set up Bitcoin ATMs in London, Singapore, Tokyo, Bucharest. We're doing a ton of volume, kind of OTC and through the Bitcoin ATMs in those various cities. And so we set up an early stage exchange, which was called CoinTrader. We connected all of our liquidity that we were kind of doing in the different cities around the world into that exchange, and ended up selling that exchange off into a public company in Vancouver back in 2015. And after that, I took some time off, built a couple different businesses in non-crypto related industries. And then I got back into the industry in 2018, kind of right at the end of the 2017 bull run there. I joined Netcoins and basically just continued on with the mission to make it easy for people to buy and sell and learn about crypto.
That's an awesome story. So, I mean, clearly you've understood the disruptive potential of blockchain and cryptocurrencies for many years now. But now the governments are finally starting to wake up to it and realize that the cat is out of the bag. So regulation has been a hot topic lately. Could you talk a little bit about the regulatory situation in Canada and maybe what you would like to see happen ideally? Yeah,
absolutely. So regulation, it's a bit of a double-edged sword for guys that have been building in the industry. For myself, like when we first started dealing in the industry, the banks, regulators, nobody knew or understood what we were doing, and they didn't take us seriously. And so when we were first trying to get bank accounts, the banks looked at us as a money service business. And so they wanted us to go and register with FinTrack, which is the local money service business regulator. And FinTrack said, like, I don't understand what you guys are doing, and we don't care. We don't have the resources or the time to talk to you guys. Like this isn't under our purview, basically. Mm-hmm. And the banks disagreed. They thought we were definitely a money service business, and so they wanted us to be regulated. And so at that point, we went and we were trying to explain to FinTrack, and we were trying to be able to register so that the banks would work with us. And so so that's been a long, ongoing kind of process. And so proactively, we kind of went and we complied with the money service business regulations to try and, be proactive and to show the banks and the regulators that there wasn't anything nefarious happening. It wasn't until I think about 2018 that FinTrack actually started to recognize crypto companies as money service businesses and let us actually register for that license. So long story short, I've been working kind of on this for a long time. And the next stage of this now is that the CSA and the local provincial securities regulators are now starting to say over the last couple of years that they will be regulating custodial crypto platforms. And, I think that there's there's part of it that makes it a little more onerous for the businesses, and there's part of it that is going to add a level of consumer protection. Like the process that we've gone through with the regulators so far has been thorough. And back in September of last year, we filed an application with the BC SE, our local provincial regulators, to become a restricted dealer. And essentially what the regulators are kind of where they're positioning it is that we're essentially selling derivatives, because when you come on to Netcoins and you buy Bitcoin, but you don't take that Bitcoin off the platform, all that we've really done is we've entered into a contract for me to give you that Bitcoin at some date in the future that's yet to be determined at the price that we've agreed on today. Mm-hmm. And so that's essentially a derivative. It's essentially a futures contract. And so that's kind of how it's going to be looked at. But obviously with these assets, they don't fit into the traditional box that, all the other legacy systems have fit in. And so it's been a long road of education and trying to kind of educate or, show them what we're doing, how we're, the security measures that we have in place, all the systems and continuity plans and insurance and wallets and liquidity providers, and how we maintain the entire ecosystem essentially. And so, I think it's moving along. It's, some people think it should be moving faster. Some people think it shouldn't be happening at all. But, I think it's kind of just the pace of progress. And at the end of the day, as we end up with, these licensed platforms across Canada, hopefully it does make for a safer ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And, there's a level of transparency both for consumers and to the regulators, to ensure that we don't end up with something like Quadriga or Einstein happening again, and it kind of sifts through the bad actors.
Great. So let's talk about the Netcoins exchange and what are its differentiating or unique factors that draw people to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said at the beginning, like my overall goal has been just to try and make this easy for the average person to get into. Like over the last few years, it's gotten a lot easier, and there's some great platforms across the country, and a lot of us are fairly on par with our services and our pricing and our offering, and all the platforms have kind of really stepped up, which is great. It's a fairly competitive space. And, ultimately we've made it really easy for the average person to come in and not be very technical, where they can set up an account, they can get verified within a few minutes, they can send in an Interac email transfer where their account is funded within under 5 minutes. Sometimes it's even faster, and they can buy and be securing their first crypto assets. And so yeah, ultimately, I think that's kind of the main goal, and it's going to continue to evolve. We've got some really exciting features that we're planning for the fall, and kind of just going for that entry level customer that wants to enter the market and learn about it.
Very cool. And I wanted to touch a little bit on some of the different features you guys have on Netcoins. For one, the cryptocurrency portfolio tracker you guys have. I know you can set some custom notifications so you don't have to always track the markets. Can you track your entire cryptocurrency portfolio on the app, or is it only the coins you hold on the exchange?
So right now it's only the coins that we hold on the exchange. Sure. We've got a system called we've got price alerts built in. So you can set and track different assets that we trade on the platform, and we'll notify you through either text message or an email. But I actually really like the idea of adding in the ability to track your full portfolio. We are looking at adding a ton more assets into the platform, and those will come shortly after we get this license approved. We have been holding off on that. We've kind of presented the platform in its current state to the regulators, and we don't want to make too many material changes to that while we're waiting for this approval. Just because anytime you change something, you need to start back with all the regulators. But yeah, ultimately we'll be adding more assets into the platform, and I think it's a great idea to be able to track your full portfolio, even assets that we don't hold or offer. Because I don't think we'll ever really be, that platform that allows you to trade the thousands of different assets that are out there, right? There's other exchanges that specialize in that, And we're more of that fiat gateway, right? Where we connect you into banks, we're the first point of contact, and then, we get you into the full ecosystem. We'll be, adding some of the more popular coins, but the ability to track your full portfolio in one easy place, and we could add in some tax tracking and P&L stuff. I think that's a great idea. So thank you. We'll add that to the roadmap.
Totally. So what type of security measures do you guys have in place to protect your users' funds?
Yeah, that's a great question. So all of our user funds are held with a third-party custodian in cold storage. And in that cold storage, we need multiple directors to actually sign off manually and then complete video calls with the custodian in order to access any of those cold storage funds. So that's like our first line of defense. Additionally, on top of that, we've got the user accounts protected through two-factor authentication at login, and then obviously two-factor to initiate any withdrawals, as well as email confirmation to confirm a withdrawal. So you won't be able to move funds off the platform without having the password, the two-factor authentication, as well as access to the email. And we always use third-party, or we use apps for the two-factor rather than SMS. I know a lot of other platforms use text message for two-factor, which is obviously vulnerable to SIM swaps and such. And
right.
so we don't actually offer that as an option. We force the apps for 2FA.
That makes sense.
Awesome. Well, Mitchell, I really wish we had more time, but unfortunately we have another interview coming up. So we have about 2 minutes left. Is there anything else you want the audience to know about Netcoins, where they could go to sign up? Is it available in the United States, or is it just for Canadian citizens?
So yeah, it's not available in the US right now. We are working on some US expansion. The easiest place to get started is directly at netcoins.ca. For people that are just starting to learn about the industry, we've built out a crypto academy, which is a great resource. Answers a lot of the first questions that people have, kind of the started stuff. And then we've got a great support team that's available on live chat and on phone to answer any additional questions. And then one of the other differentiators for us is that we're actually owned by a publicly traded company, which is Big Digital Assets. So we're traded on the CSE. And so part of being a publicly traded company means that, aside from all the other regulatory stuff that we're going through, we go through, very, very thorough annual audits. And, everything about the business is held to a much higher standard than a private company. And customers or users, individuals out there that are unsure about choosing a platform, they can go on and they can find our financials. They can see exactly how much cash we've got in the bank. They can see how much money we're spending. They can see exactly the team and everything about the company. Whereas a lot of these private companies, they don't have that level of transparency. And I think it probably would have saved a lot of people a lot of money if they would have been able to take a look and see who was behind some of those early exchanges that went down.
Oh yeah.
Facts.
Mount Gox.
Mount Gox, Quadriga, there's been a few of them. And so, that's essentially where we're trying to take the industry is to, a higher standard, a higher level of transparency, and, make sure that those types of things never happen again.
I love to hear that. Well, Mitchell, thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to talking to you more in the future. Guys, go check out Netcoins. Sounds like a great service. So thanks for coming on. We'll see you later.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, guys. We hope you enjoyed that Netcoins interview. Shout out to our Canadian audience. What's up, y'all? FT wants Gil. I don't see Gil backstage, but we do have some of the Cirus Foundation members with us, so I'm going to bring them on now. Welcome to the stream, Daniel, Bland, and Finis Connor. How are you guys doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Doing great, Logan. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. It's our pleasure to have you guys on today. So maybe starting with you, Daniel, could you tell us about your background in business, entrepreneurship, crypto, and then maybe your role for Cirus?
Yeah, of course. I'm just getting a call from Gil. He might be having a problem.
Okay, you want to take that, and then we'll have Finis start off?
So he's probably having some technical issues on his
Sounds good. Hey, I can mute you, and I'll pass it over to Finis, and you can help get Gil out.
Yeah, why don't we do that so I can get – there we go, Finis. Why don't you go ahead, Finis, and
Sure, I'd be happy
Hi,
to
Finis.
give you my view on it. This is, to us, a very exciting opportunity. To me, I've worked with Danny for many, many years. I come from the storage industry and also some of the security business with a couple of young companies that I've been working with for some period of time. But most of my background's been in the hard drive business for many, many years. What's exciting to me about this, of course, first and foremost, is the team that's involved in this, the professionalism, the experience, and the ability to look forward and have a vision. This whole market to me is fairly new, the coin and cryptocurrency area. But what's exciting to me is the ability to take and return some value to the owner of the data and the creator of the data. Right now, our lovely multi-trillion-dollar companies enjoy the benefit of all of our data. So I like things. Pardon me?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So I like markets that are very large and growing, and I like them where you can find a disruptive path for your solution into that market. And that to me is what was exciting here. Danny has probably got more energy than anybody I know. Gil, of course, has the experience. And my view is if I can contribute and help have a vision toward very large growth, which is what my background really is, I'm excited to be part of it.
That's awesome. So let's check in again with Danny. Do you have an update for us, Danny? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm on line with Gil right now. He's having an issue,
Okay.
So just give me.
Okay, a couple more minutes. We got you covered.
I can start with Phineas too with a question about an overview of is it Cirrus or Cyrus? How do you actually pronounce it?
Cirrus is how they
Okay,
pronounce it.
Cirrus. Okay.
There was another company with a similar name years ago.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, can you guys give us like a quick overview of what it is, what the use case is for, and just like how it affect a day-to-day user?
I'm going to leave that to Danny. That's a little outside my envelope there, but what I'm trying to do and participating is help give some visibility of where the world can go and what's possible. High growth opportunity is where I get my thrills.
Gotcha. Well, what brought you on board of this particular?
Yeah, I want to know like how did you get into crypto? What was your first time hearing about it, and what sold you on the idea?
Well, I've been watching crypto and tempted to dabble in it for obviously many years, and we've as a novice you see the ups and the downs. You get excited on the upside and you scream on the downside. So I've kind of stayed back. But clearly, the opportunity is here, and it's going to grow. Crypto is here forever, and it's going to make a profound change in how we all interact with each other, with our businesses, and our personal lives and medical lives, all of that. So, to me, I wanted to be in the neighborhood of that's where I can at least contribute my view on high growth and how we can participate in that kind of opportunity.
Awesome. So I see Daniel, you're off the phone now. I'm going to bring you back on. How's Gil doing?
Gil's having some technical issues.
Okay.
He's an Apple guy in Safari, and so he's. I'm trying to convince him to download Google Chrome, and he's really resisting. So hopefully
he can get on through mobile. If I'm assuming he'd have an iPhone if he's Gil.
Yeah. Bear with me. Hopefully,
he probably has several of them.
Google Chrome, and he'll get in. These Apple guys, they're
oh, there he is,
right? They just
all right, he just jumped in backstage.
There he is. There's Gil.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, Gil, welcome to Moon or Bust. How are you doing today?
I was doing great until I found out that my browser had to go to Google.
I feel you.
They force you to use Chrome.
Yeah, I use Brave
Shame.
personally. I saw that's one of your guys' partners too, and I personally use Brave over Chrome. I don't even have Chrome on my MacBook, but I understand your pain.
Damn Larry Page.
And anyway, we're here.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome. So Gil, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. For those who aren't familiar with your extensive background in business and entrepreneurship, could you give us a little bit about your history and then tell us how you got into cryptocurrencies?
Okay, you want me to start?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, my history is I've had two careers. One as a research scientist. Early on, I graduated with a PhD in physics. I went to Bell Laboratories, worked as a research scientist there for a while, invented a bunch of stuff which you use every day. And then Silicon Valley was just being born. And so it beckoned me. So I moved from New Jersey to California, working for Fairchild, running their research lab. But then one day my boss came in and said, we have a broken division, Gil. You're a really smart guy. Can you fix it? And I said, well, I don't know anything about business. He said, you're smart. You'll learn. So I went over to Stanford and I talked to the professor of the business school there. And he said, read everything Peter Drucker ever wrote. So I did that. And I took on my first turnaround assignment. And I wound up doing 5 of those, 5 different companies, and all successfully. The bottom line is that I had a unique way of doing it. I took what Peter Drucker taught me, and then I added my own sauce to it, so to speak. And now my methods are taught as part of the Harvard Business School. And so if you go to Harvard Business School, you're going to study Gil Amelio and his methods of management.
I hope so one day.
Don't get that at Ross Business School.
So right now, what I'm doing is I'm still doing venture capital work, and loving every minute of it. And I've been a long friend of Danny and Finus. And when Danny called me and said he had this really terrific idea, he flew down and met with me, and it really was a terrific idea. So I'm very excited to be a part of this team.
So, Gil, did you have any prior knowledge on blockchain or cryptocurrencies before Danny and Finus brought you on to Cirrus?
Well, I've been tracking. Blockchain is probably one of the most important innovations since the founding of the internet, frankly. And so you got to pay attention to important changes like that. So I've been sort of, I don't want to say doing any deep study on it, but sort of tracking what the trends were. But then when Danny came in and said he wanted to link his business model with blockchain, it made a heck of a lot of sense to me, and I think it's exactly the right thing to do. So yes, I know enough about blockchain to be dangerous, but I have a lot of smart people who help me out with the details.
So, Danny, let's talk about that business model a little bit. What's your goal here with Cirrus, and how will it impact retail?
Yeah, that's a great question, Logan. We're all about empowering the ownership economy to unlock your largest digital asset. And what does that mean? Your largest digital asset is your internet insights, or as the oligarchs like to refer to them as big data. And we all know about big data. Big data is around us. Everything we do is really online, big data based. Google, Facebook, all these guys have created $1 trillion industry. That's great. It's great for their valuations, and God bless them. The problem is they've left off the guy who created the data. They've left off us. So Cirrus is all about bringing that back in, and Cirrus is about making sure that the owner of the data gets paid. And we think that it's an absolute right, if you're online and you're creating all this internet insights and creating this value, that you should be paid for it. So that's what Cirrus is all about. It's not complicated. It's complicated to do, but it's a pretty easy thesis. Come onto our platform, get paid for your data.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, I asked earlier about an overview, but if you can give like a brief synopsis, or just like the eagle-eye view of what the foundation is, we can kind of go from there. But yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and let's dig a little deeper into that, right?
So, we will.
When we talk about paying you for your data, how do we do that? And one of the things that is very important to understand is that we incorporate blockchain to be able to do that. So this is an organic use case for blockchain. This isn't some bolted on sort of, we try to figure that, round whole square peg thing. This is organic. We need blockchain. So we need you guys. We need this industry to do this. And in fact, 2 or 3 years ago, we couldn't have done this. So the time is now. The technology has evolved to the point, the crypto world has evolved to the point where we can do this. And one of the things that is very important for Cirrus is to bring this to the masses. This is not a techie play. This is not something where you have to understand blockchain where you have to understand smart contracts or the layer 2 and Polygon and all these things that for an average guy, it's like, what are you talking about? It's just click, get paid for your data. Come onto our platform, we pay you for your data. So behind the scenes, under the hood, there's a lot of cool stuff that's going on technologically that we can talk about. And, we're filing 47 patents and there's a real, interesting business model underneath this. But from the perspective of the average user, it's just understanding that we don't want to change your behavioral changes. We want to just do what you're doing now and make it very easy for you to get onto our platform and started being paid for your data. So we have two business models in being able to achieve that. One was working with emerging markets and the ISPs as they're rolling out their broadband. Most of you guys probably don't know that these emerging markets broadband is still in its infancy. So there's a real need for broadband connectivity in these markets. So one of the things we're working with and through Gil is working with some ISPs. We'll be talking about this in future press releases about how we're aligning with them to bring millions of people onto the platform, the Cirrus platform, and also at the same time coming into crypto for the first time. So we're very excited about that. But the other part of the business model is to onboard directly with the crypto community, make it very easy for them to click a button, get on, start earning their revenue for their data insights.
Gotcha. Can you go into detail on why you guys chose Polygon as your layer 2 solution and not just Ethereum, or anything about that?
That's a great question, and we've just lost half your audience, but that's okay.
I doubt that.
Might be surprised.
Cool. We can go there. So Ethereum, the gas fees on Ethereum make this uneconomic. So we had to go layer 2. We think Polygon is the best layer 2. There are others out there, of course.
My man.
But we're very simpatico with Polygon and what they're doing, and the gas fees on that is basically free. So if you think about what we're trying to do here, is bring millions and millions of people onto our platform, and that's millions and millions of transactions. Well, you can't do that on the Ethereum. The gas fees would just make it uneconomic. So Polygon layer 2 is really the solution. And again, the great thing about this, we couldn't have done this a year ago. These layer 2s are just coming out now, as you know. So it's important that, but again, this is getting deep into the weeds on how we do this. But from the business standpoint, it comes back to just early adoption and how do you bring in large adoption, right? And so this idea with the ISPs and bringing millions onto the platform, and with this direct to market strategy with the crypto guys, we want to bring millions of people on here and be a force within the crypto marketplace.
Well, awesome. I think the layer 2 solutions, and I personally am a huge fan of Polygon and Matic. I know that my other two co-hosts are as well. But I think that's a great idea, and not a whole lot of people are doing that. They're just still sticking with Ethereum, and they don't understand that Polygon's still technically Ethereum. It's the same protocols. It's the same thing. Right. It's just a little, extra steps, but
huge for scale. Yeah. So I know this is a little bit before my time, but my computer science professors tell me that the internet was created for decentralization, right? And then big tech happened. It became very centralized, and now it's kind of mind blowing to hear that you could make money from your own data, right? Because we're just so used to big tech using us as the product, making money from our own data. So it's a new phenomenon, and I think that's a great segue into Ryan's next question here. So Ryan, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm trying to learn a little bit more about how I could actually earn money through Cirrus. So of course we're selling data for this, but can you give us an overview on how the user actually earns money through Cirrus? Do I get to choose which data I sell and which data I keep private? How does that really work?
Yeah, Ryan, that's a great question. And so when we put big data on the blockchain, we increase security, we increase the options that you have in how we monetize data. But the really important thing to understand here is that big data already exists. right? They've figured out how to do this. So they've got the ad tech platforms up and running, and they've got the market research ledger. So they have all the areas where you're making money already in place. So all we're doing, we're creating a big data platform, but designed for the user. We're creating that big data platform, bolting in all those things that the current big data analytics companies do, but now we're just enabling you to profit from that process. So when you go online and you surf the internet, you're creating internet insights, and those internet insights are captured and curated, and advertisements are developed from those insights that are then sold to the marketplace. So we're going to be your agent in doing that. So the Cirrus Foundation is nothing more than your agent to plugging into the big data analytics world. That's all this is. This is not, we're not reinventing the world. We're just bringing big data analytics platform to all of you guys, to all of us who, in fact, without all of us, there is no internet, right? I mean, that's the fundamental of this, is that the internet is all about the users and the, as you say, Logan, the decentralization. We're just taking that now one step further because technology exists to do that. And again, this is a mere pipe dream without blockchain and without the crypto market. So it's really important that you guys understand. You guys, you know, I know you look like you're 15, Logan. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it's funny.
But you guys are going to see the evolution of Web 3.0 and how this takes off to the next level. This ownership economy, you know, is all about, you know, decentralization and all about power to the individual. Well, no better place to do that than online. While you're surfing the internet, you're now going to get paid.
So say I have a family of 5, how much could I expect to earn by selling that data, like maybe on a yearly basis?
Well, the numbers vary. The family of 5 is good.
Sure.
You know, standard in the marketplace is $9 a month per user. That's what your value is worth to the big data analytics guys today.
Okay.
With IoT coming online, there's going to be more and more discovery and more value prop to that. But Ryan, here's the deal. It's almost irrelevant how much money you as a family or you as an individual are going to make. The point is that it shouldn't go to Google. It should go to you.
Yeah,
so whatever value prop there is, that's your value prop, not someone else's. So I can get into the, you know, what this family's worth in America and India and all the different places. It's kind of like, okay, that's not the point. The point is you come onto our platform, it doesn't cost you anything. You hit a button, you're on our platform, now you're earning. So we want this frictionless, no behavioral changes, as simple as you could possibly make it.
That makes sense. I'm sure there's a ton of variables that go into it, but how does somebody actually go about setting up the hardware to take ownership of their data? Is it a pretty streamlined process, or do you need any crypto knowledge? Because I know you want to reach mass market, so I'm sure you're going to try and make it as simple as possible.
Yeah, great question, Ryan. And so on our ISP strategy, working with ISPs, they do the installation. So you don't do anything different. We simply provide them a router. They do the installation. You do nothing different. You just click a button and you're on. So no configuration. We do all that. The ISPs do all that installation. For the markets, and there'll be a lot of markets that we start without the router, that go right into the platform first. And again, that's, click and you're on and away you go. So the focus here is to make this really simple. And one thing that Finance and Gil have taught me in the years I've worked with them is, you know, mega trends and adoption of mega trends is great, and technology is great, but you've got to dumb it down. You got to keep it very simple for mass adoption. And these guys have perfected that. I mean, these guys are titans of Silicon Valley. These guys are Hall of Famers of Silicon Valley. These guys built and managed and ran some of the biggest corporations on the planet. For them to be involved is like, wow. I mean, that excites me. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, we're pretty excited about that.
Good, Ryan.
So, Danny, when I was researching the Cirrus Foundation, something that came to mind was commercial adoption. And I'm not really sure what your take is on this, but I thought, you know, what if a company comes in like Starbucks and starts using these routers? Well, they have the ability to sell that data. I'm sure that data already gets put out there and sold anyway. Is this a way for companies that have thousands of people come in and use their internet to make maybe some ancillary revenue? And do you see retail adoption coming first? Do you see commercial adoption coming first? How do you think that'll play out?
Yeah, so you've just described big data as it currently exists. That's what they're doing. I mean, all these guys, every platform is taking your insights and monetizing it to their advantage. But we're about the individual. We're not about enterprise in the sense of mass commercial. This is all about the individual. So our thesis is that you, Ryan and Logan, you deserve to be paid for your data. So get onto our platform and start earning on that basis. The commercial side is really more about what's currently going on and what's currently happening in big data. We're about disrupting that and bringing that to the individual.
Awesome. So one thing I have a question about is like, what makes you guys stand out? What differentiates you guys between like Brave or UBDI or something like that? I know you guys are partnered with Brave, and that makes total sense. But something like that where they will hold your data and let you sell it, or they'll pay you for it. Well, you know what I mean. What makes you guys kind of different? What stands out?
Yeah. So we're not a partner with Brave, so we're not yet anyway. So let's that.
I'm sorry, I saw it on your guys' website.
I didn't get the memo. I've got the latest press release, but I don't think so. No. Listen, what we do and how we differentiate from others in the marketplace is that we are really building a big data platform for you guys, and no one else has done that. No one else does that at all. And we can go into the different competitors and what they do, but Media 101, you never talk about the competitor, right? So we're all about Cirrus, and let's talk about what we're doing at Cirrus. And the way we differentiate is that point blank, no other big data platform is paying you for your data. So we're the first ones to do that. And by the way, I believe this will revolutionize this entire space. So I believe in 5 years, there'll be 50 guys doing what we're doing. This is the future. It makes no sense why you shouldn't be paid for your data. And now we have the technology, thanks to blockchain, thanks to you guys and what you guys represent, we now can do it. So we're pretty excited about disrupting $1 trillion industry.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that is really exciting too, because I'm a little bit older than Logan and Ryan, and
I can tell.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Well, I hope I don't look.
Yeah,
like I'm
at least you can grow hair on your face.
And I don't have any hair up here either. But I grew up in the age of the internet, where I remembered when we first had dial up, and then when we got broadband, it was mind blowing. And then that's when the whole data collection and everything happened. And then Gil, I saw that you worked you were at Apple, in the beginning of like the Macintosh, the computer days and everything, not the beginning, towards the early 90s, mid 90s and stuff like that. And it wasn't as big of a concern then as data mining, because it wasn't an actual thing yet. And I think that what you're saying is it is disrupting. What Cirrus Foundation is doing is disrupting this whole data collection, taking ownership of what you rightfully is yours and what you do and how you traverse the internet or Web3, whatever you do. And I think that is pretty awesome. I mean, I think that is definitely going to be a huge thing very, very soon. And I did not know the full scope of what you guys did either, but just from your website and the white paper and talking to you guys, it makes me a lot more excited about your guys' project than I originally thought.
Hey, so glad to hear you're on board, Brian.
Yeah.
So I have two questions. I'm gonna jump in here. So the chat wants more questions for Gil. They love you, man. So Gil, let me ask you, what made you jump onto this project? What made you most excited about it?
Well, I think the integration of big data and blockchain is unique, and so it's a unique model.
Is this something you saw a need for a long time?
I'm sorry, say again.
Is this something that you saw a need for a long time?
No, I think as Danny has said, he and I have worked collaboratively for more than a decade now, and he comes to me and bounces ideas off me, and I give him some feedback, and I think Danny does the same thing with Finest, and we're sort of part of his sphere of thought leaders, and so that's how this came about. As Danny was looking at this opportunity. We were actually working on another project when Danny actually thought of this idea, and so it was sort of natural to bring it up with me. Getting back to Apple for just 1 second, I wanted to just add one thing. I actually met Steve Jobs way back in the mid '70s when he first was getting started with Apple. So I actually knew the Apple guys almost from day one, and have obviously had an impact on that. Also, when I was running National Semiconductor, we sold a lot of our products that we made at National were Apple was one of our largest customers. So I had a lot of interaction with Apple over many years, not just the years I was there, and so I had a lot of insight into that business. And you're right, it was revolutionary. The idea that you could have a computer that you could actually carry around with you was like crazy in those days. Today we take it for granted. Yeah. But computers, when I was in college, computer was you had to go to this building that had this huge room in it with tons of air conditioners in it, and that was your computer, right? And you brought in your code and put it in there and hope to get an answer out of it. The world has totally changed, and I think this, putting myself in the shoes of the consumer for a moment, if I'm a consumer, I really think this is a great idea. Why do I think that? Because the more the people who make products I want to buy know about what I like and what I don't like, the better products they're going to make, the better products that are going to resonate with what I really want, as opposed to what I think I might want. And so I think this is a win-win for both the people who are producing new products as well as the consumers who are going to be buying them. And so I think that's another part of the brilliance of this idea.
Well, Gil, I've grown up loving Apple products, so thank you for your contributions there. The world is certainly a better place thanks to you. So my second question is directed towards Danny. I want to talk about the Cirrus token and its value, its staking, and what other use cases you plan to introduce in the future.
Yeah, it's really a fascinating technology, the utility token, and to understand the utility token and understand the thesis behind what Cirrus is building. When we have a use case and we have a supply and demand economy, which these utility tokens are all about, it really comes down to why would people back, or why would people be involved with the token? And the reality of it is that the underlying business is you come onto the platform and you're paid for your data. So we argue that there's going to be a lot of people that want to do that. And if there are a lot of people coming onto the platform getting paid for their data, they're going to use tokens to help facilitate that. There's a lot of things you can do with this token that will increase the demand for the token, which is the entire sort of thesis behind a utility token. So once you get into the tokenomics, you can go to the website, and I won't bore you with all the details, but if you go onto the website and you read the white paper, which I encourage everyone to do, of course, cirrusfoundation.com, I think that you'll see that there's a lot of potential with this token. And of course, this is if we get adoption. We don't know that that's going to happen. We're certainly confident. But you have to execute, and let's see what happens with our adoption. We're very excited to do that, and the next weeks and months and years will determine that reality.
I want to bring it back to Finis for a second. So what are you most excited about the project, and what do you contribute to the team as a board member and as a whole?
Well, what excited me to begin with is that really Danny and I have been approaching this issue of how do you get value back to the owner of the content, and both from his standpoint, I was looking at it from a storage standpoint of trying to bring a home cloud and things like that. But what's happened is there's so much data being generated, and it's being concentrated to a large of the big guys. And to me, I like the idea of doing something for mere mortals. How can the average Joe be able to get some return on all the content and data that he provides? And up until now, there hasn't been any solution that we could see. So that, to me, is the most exciting. My contribution is really hopefully to look at where can things go, how big is big. I've always liked big projects. I've grown disk drives, big business substantially. But this, to me, is a mainstream change of how we are going to interact with our data, information, each other, all of that. So I like to be in the neighborhood when that happens.
Yeah,
I love that.
totally understand.
Well, unfortunately, we have ran a little bit over time, so I just want to wrap up now. Finest Gil and Danny, thank you all so much for joining us. Is there anything else, last thoughts you want to share with the audience, places they can go to check you out? What do you want to leave them with?
Yeah, for sure. Give me 30 seconds, Logan.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
I really want to talk about our co-founders, Michael Lakou, who's our managing director at Cirrus Foundation, a crypto entrepreneur, absolutely a rock star. I'm honored to be in business with Michael. Our other co-founder is Samartha Rajabanagabhushanam. It took me a while to learn that name. But Samartha is a great technology entrepreneur, has run companies from 0 to 1,200 employees, $400 million exits. So we're very excited. Thank you guys for taking the time to hear about what we're doing and to meet Finest and Gil. Check us out, cirrusfoundation.com. We look forward to many more exchanges with you guys in the future.
We would love to have you all back on. Yeah, thank you all for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys.
Okay.
Gil or Finest, any closing remarks for us?
No, I think in just a long time ago, you can either write a star or be a star, and I like writing stars.
I like that.
Very well.
Right.
I think it's a lot of fun to be in the arena when things are happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this I really love what I'm doing. So
That's all that matters.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Alrighty.
Ryan, Logan, Brian. Appreciate you guys a lot.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, and thank you to the audience, everyone who tuned in today. If you enjoyed, please let us know by smashing the like button, subscribing to the channel, and coming back on Monday. But that is all we have for you this week. We will see you at 2 o'clock on Monday. Peace out, everyone.